What is going on? YouTube heavy metal community, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another it will not be a reaction video, it will be a commentary video. So in today's content I have for you fact or fiction by Lourwire. I did a video, also commentary video, a while ago, also from Lourwire, but it was a guest of the questionnaire was a Tarja Turunen from Nightwish, and this time they have a David Draiman. So they basically talk about stuff that is true about them and stuff that is false, and all of that you can find on internet, you know. So yeah, they're reading stuff from Wikipedia and they basically say, okay, this is false, this is true. So a lot of interesting stuff about singers you can find on this Lourwire channel. So without me further talking, let's just jump into a video. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? This is David Draiman from Disturbed. You're watching Lourwire.
Wow. It's Wikipedia fact or fiction time with Disturbed and Devices. David Draiman, thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
You've really been like one of the people who's been like helping us and following us ever since we launched the site. So I want to thank you for that first of all. Super appreciative. Welcome, and we're gonna maybe help you by clearing some facts on your Wikipedia pages, Disturbed Wikipedia pages. So let's see what's right and what's wrong.
Okay.
Okay. So it says that you were born, which is
That
true.
did happen, yes.
Yeah,
Cool. March 13th, 1973 in Brooklyn, New York, to Miriam and Yehuda Draiman. True. Okay. It says that your father is a mechanical engineer.
No.
Okay.
My father is not a mechanical engineer.
Well,
False.
there's quite an impressive resume here, if it's true. It also said healthcare administrator.
He was.
Okay, small town, it's not a small town, small business owner.
True.
And is completing a PhD in energy conservation.
That's news to me.
Ah, okay. And
Okay.
he's also a candidate for the mayor of Los Angeles for the 2017 elections.
Yeah, we all try to do crazy things every now and then.
Okay.
I love him. God bless him. I think it's nuts, but
Really?
yeah.
I'll stop here. I think most of the fathers, I mean my father also, have some really good idea and have some like really batshit crazy ideas. So my dad was a lumberjack pretty much all of his life, and he's cutting trees for a living, you know, for various companies, and he worked that kind of job all of his working career, and he's retired now, and they cannot be a day doesn't pass by without him starting the chainsaw at least once every day, you know. He have to turn it on just, you know, for his own pleasure. So that's how much he loves his job. And yeah, let's continue. And David's father also, by the way, David looks scary, you know, but he seems to be like very sweet guy. So yeah, let's continue.
Think he's got a good chance?
Nope.
No.
Not a snowball's chance in hell.
But still, like, you know, I think a good rap sheet, so to speak. You know, growing up with a dad who's very ambitious and also very accomplished in many ways, was that kind of inspiration for you to kind of have a big impact in your own way?
That's a little sticky, because oh, let's see. Let me try and find the vanilla way of putting this.
Okay.
rug of success got swept out from underneath my father when I was 12 years old, and he went away to prison.
That was not on Wikipedia.
No, and that's okay. I mean, he got stuck in a situation with some business partners of his that did a whole bunch of shady stuff and left it in his lap, some mail fraud and some insurance fraud. And so, yeah, coming back from that was a very difficult thing for the family. And so we struggled for a good many years. So as opposed to that, don't get me wrong, as a kid, seeing my father succeed at certain things, which he did. He had this this company called Electro Video Marketing. He was one of the guys that started one of the first chains of videotape rental stores in Chicago called Doc Edison Video back in the day. Remember when there was VCRs and videotapes and stuff like that? Yeah.
Fuzzy memories.
So, you know, those sorts of things and his drive to succeed certainly were inspirational, but it's not like I have this tremendous success thing to look back at that's been something for me to, you know, mold my life after. So it's not entirely accurate.
Okay.
Okay, let me stop here. Every kid loves his parent, like, even though if some people say, oh my god, I hate my parents and stuff like that, it's mainly produced by that one moment in their life, you know. I'm not saying every parent is a perfect or every child is a perfect. There is also a batshit crazy parents, but most of the kids will always look at their parents as heroes, you know. Parents make mistakes, you know, and I'm not a parent, but yeah, my parents made a few mistakes, you know, but my dad did not went to prison, but there were some, you know, bad calculated business opportunities where also my dad lost like a lot of money and stuff like that, but I looked at my dad as a like fighter. He always fights for his family, even though we live on my family, my mom and dad, they still live on a small village in Bosnia, and I grew up there and with my sisters and my mom. My dad was most of his life he was working on outside the country. He was working mainly in Serbia as a lumberjack, and it's a dangerous job, but nothing was ever short from us. We have, as kids, we have everything, you know. And my dad is also a war veteran, so he have some war issues and stuff like that. And Bosnia is not the country that is equipped with a best healthcare for a war veterans. So I would say that, but I think every normal parent will do their best to raise their child in their own good way. So yeah, let's continue.
Mind if I ask how long he was locked up for?
2.5 years.
Oh wow, so a pretty significant period of time during like your formative years. It says during your freshman year at Wisconsin Institute for Torah Study, you were requested to leave.
That's true.
Really? Why was that?
Well, the straw that ended up breaking the camel's back was they found a copy of GQ under my pillow. Not Playboy, not God knows what, it was GQ. The school was so strict that even a newspaper that had a lingerie advertisement in it, we weren't allowed to have.
Okay.
So anything that had any scantily clad women in it of any kind, or talked about sexual issues or anything like that, you couldn't have. But that's not the real reason they threw me out or asked me not to come back. That was just the one that they pinned it on. That was the only one they could prove.
Okay.
There was a bunch of other things that were far more serious than that. Well, I mean, it kind of all depends on how you look at it. But, I mean, I suppose chucking a kid out of a second-story window is probably not very good, or setting fire to and blowing up the rabbi's van is probably not so good either. So those aren't on the wiki page, which I'm actually kind of happy about. But yes, they did ask me to leave because I was a little bit rebellious.
but they did ask kindly. So yeah.
Second story window?
Well,
Did he hit the ground?
yeah, he did, and actually, we narrowly avoided a lawsuit from the family. The thing is that I was in the weight room and training, and he was a senior, I was a freshman, and I was lifting more than he was, and he wasn't happy about it, and he threw a 25-pound plate at me.
Oh, jeez. All right, that's...
It smacked me in the chest and knocked the wind out of me, and I got up, and his back was turned to me, and I ran up to him and pushed him out the window. So,
Ooh.
don't turn your back to me after you hit me.
No. Oh my God.
It's justified, you know. It's an act of self-defense. So yeah.
Injuries on his
Yeah,
part?
he broke a few things.
Ugh. All right, so there you go. That's why. It's not the GQ. It's really not the GQ. It says that when you were 16, that your girlfriend at the time took her own life.
Unfortunately true.
That's. I'm sorry to hear about that. And
That's what Inside the Fire is written about.
Yes, and when you're that young, I mean, I couldn't imagine being able to actually even just comprehend what that would be like.
A lot of therapy later, bro. It was,
Absolutely, sure.
It was not easy. You know, you blame yourself for stuff like that, and you judge yourself, and it wasn't an easy thing. I went through a very, very dark period of my life at that point. That I was already at that point in my life an addict.
Were you?
Yeah, well, you can probably still see a couple little puck.
Not so much.
No, well, it's a long time. It's since 18 years old. But it was her that started me on it. And after she left this world, by overdosing on that very same thing, I went into a horrible downward spiral for a number of years. It was actually on my 18th birthday that I, well, not my 18th birthday, but in my 18th year of life on this earth, it was New Year's Eve that I woke up, or New Year's Day, I woke up underneath a 72 Cutlass on Belmont in Sheffield in Chicago. I'll never forget, freezing to death. Just my jeans, no shirt, no shoes, no wallet. You know, not knowing what the hell happened to me, how I got there. Woke up freezing, and thankfully had a friend that lived a block and a half away. Stumbled over there, knocked on the door, and collapsed for 3 days. My parents called the cops, and everybody was out looking for me, and that was my moment of clarity.
That was maybe rock bottom?
About as low as it got. And that was when I spent the next 3 months being very sick, and my parents didn't realize that that sickness was actually withdrawal.
Yeah.
And I haven't touched it since.
It says that you graduated.
I have to say something about this. Drugs and overdosing stuff. So, from the place where I came from, small village, small town, everybody knows everybody, you know, and it's Bosnia. I never, until I knew about drugs and stuff like that, but until I came here in Germany, I never saw like a drug addict, you know, comatose from a drugs on the street, you know. And first time I saw it, it was like in 2017 in Slovenia. That's actually the first year when I when I came to Slovenia, or actually outside when I go to work to Slovenia, and it was in Ljubljana, in main city of Slovenia, and I just saw this guy like collapsed on some bench near the park, one small park in Ljubljana, and he was like shivering, and it was like I wanted to approach the guy and ask, you know, what's your problem, you know. I never did not even assume that he was like overdosed from some sort of drugs. I'm not sure what was it, but and then my friend that was actually with me, he was Slovenian. He grabbed my hand, and stopped me, and he said like, no, let it go. Like the police will come and they will do the job. He's overdosed. Like there is many people like that actually in that kind of area. So it left me scarred. The knowing that people can human being can like destroy itself that much with that substance was a pretty shocking experience to me. And since then I saw a lot of like drug addicts on the street, especially here in Germany. Germany is full of those people. But from place where I came, people of opiates, they mainly use alcohol. So, and some of them became kind of fighty, some of them became happy, some of them stayed neutral. And alcohol was a thing that I knew about pretty much for like most part of my life. So yeah, but I'm not a big alcohol drinker. I mean, I drink when it's some celebration or stuff like that. I don't smoke. I never even saw in my life, in real life, any drug. So it is highly destructive thing that is brought upon this world. So yeah, and I cannot imagine like impact that is left on David and his life. So it must be very hard for him, but he seemed to be like okay now. So yeah, and I love the Inside the Fire song of his, and I will do reaction on that song. Let's continue.
College with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and Government Philosophy and Business Administration.
Well, not government philosophy, just philosophy. Yeah.
Government, philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Then it said initially you considered taking up offers to matriculate and study at law school. You realized that although criminal defense law was the only area of law that you were interested in at the time, you couldn't look yourself in the mirror and say that you're going to lie for a living and protect criminals.
Correct.
That's all true. Okay.
I actually got into 6 or 7 different law schools. I had already taken my LSAT. I was ready to go, and I just couldn't do it.
Wow, so that's some serious dedication to actually take the LSAT and like a lot of study.
Yeah, well, I had geared my entire, my collegiate education was all pre-law, essentially. And coming from years and years and years of Talmudic study, Jewish law, I was already kind of used to it. So it was just an aptitude of mine, But like you just said, I couldn't come to terms with defending people that I knew were guilty.
Was this at all from seeing maybe other students that you were with or other people who were already in sort of the field of law and practicing
Yes, and them being very unscrupulous about it and having very little morals and almost no ethics. And I maybe it's a weakness, maybe I'm flawed as a result of it, maybe I'm not as strong as the next person for it, or maybe I'm stronger. Because to me, honor and principle and dignity and truth are meaningful. I give a shit. And some people use it as a calling card. Me, I try to actually live that way.
Yeah.
And so I need to be able to wake up every morning, able to live with myself.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm at peace and I've not done anything or said anything that I feel I need to hide, then I have nothing to hide.
Yeah. I think choosing truth and being true to yourself over money and power, I don't think that's weak in any way. So
I don't think it's weak either. I think it's a sign of a just person, person who is strong, And David have some good morals, man. I did not expect this like at all. I mean, I did not expect him to be a this great of a I mean, I kind of knew he was a like nice, good person, but I didn't know like the stuff that happens in his life like this, and it clearly formed strongly his personality. So yeah, let's continue.
So there, there you go. Before Disturbed, it said you ran your own healthcare facility.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
3 of them,
Yeah.
actually.
3. Okay. What kind of healthcare are we talking
The first one was a long-term care facility, like a nursing home,
Okay.
on a ridge that I was actually the assistant administrator for. That's where I learned the business.
Okay.
It was interesting because as I had decided to not pursue law, a colleague of mine let me know about the opening that there was for an assistant administrator position in this one facility.
Okay.
And I had always kind of gravitated somewhat towards, that world to an extent because my family already had a history in it, as you read from my father.
Yes.
And so I figured, all you really needed to have was a bachelor's and some a business degree to at least get your foot in the door. Okay, I went, I interviewed 40, 50 applicants, I got it, learned the business from the ground up, started in maintenance and learned every single
Really
aspect of it.
from the bottom.
Literally.
Right.
And then a year after that, I got my administrator's license and I moved on to my own facility, which is called Ambassador Nursing and Rehab on Lawrence in Chicago. And I was there for a couple of years. They ended up firing me because at the time I was quote unquote embezzling money to support the Disturbed machine, which, what was it? I was using their FedEx account and their postage stamp machine in the office to put out the Disturbed mailing list and send out promo packs to the labels and so on and so forth, because the band couldn't afford it, and
He did nothing wrong, actually. I'm kind of glad he did this.
And truth be told, is I was already making them a $2-3 million a year profit, and they weren't giving me any bonuses. I'm like, fuck it. Okay, I'm going to use your office account to go ahead and try and get what I really want to do for a living and what my life's passion is out there. They ended up letting me go. But it's okay, because a month later, because I had been doing so well at the facility and doing such a good job for them, it's like they were, I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that, but anyway, I ended up moving up to a 365-bed skilled nursing facility in Niles, Illinois, that was incredibly skilled. I mean, they had a subacute wing, a lockdown unit, and I mean, we would take patients directly post-op. I mean, it was very high level of skill. So it was, that was the most challenging, and I only was there for a few months because that was when we got our deal.
Gotcha. Were you mailing anything from that new facility?
No, I didn't need to anymore.
Okay, good. Well, it worked out for you. And no
It definitely
multi-million-dollar lawsuit for a couple of stamps.
No.
Okay. Yeah, this was actually part 1. It have, I think, 2 parts. So I will end my video here, so I can have time to edit everything and, post it on YouTube, and then I have to go to work. So yeah, thank you all guys for watching my video. Consider subscribing, consider checking Lourwire and stuff like that. They have many interesting interviews with a lot of singers and songwriters and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in another video of mine. So goodbye.